everyone, my name is RJ Bueno from the Tibet Tuku, episode set B. Today, the lesson that I will discuss is all about the information sheet number 9, Food Safety Management System. So what is Food Safety Management System? A food safety management is a group of practices and procedures intended to prevent foodborne illness. It does this by actively controlling risks and hazards throughout the flow of food. So what is food safety management? It is a collection of operations for food companies to control potential food hazards and ensure the safety of public. So first, what is food safety management system? It's a collection of operations for food companies to control potential food hazards and ensure the safety of public health. So si food safety management system is a collection of operation wherein tinutulungan yung mga companies para makontrol and prevent yung mga posibilidad na maging hazard and risk sa isang workplace. Here are some examples of the programs your operations needs. First, personal hygiene program. Siyempre, kailangan kapag nasa industry tayo ng food, kailangan natin magkaroon ng cleanliness not only to our workplace but also to ourselves first. Second, supplier selection and specification program, cleaning and sanitation program, facility design and equipment maintenance program, food safety training program, quality control and assurance programs, and standard operating procedures or SOPs. Then last but not the least, the pest control program. Active managerial control. What is active managerial control? It's a tool used by food service managers to actively lead food workers in food handling practices that reduce the occurrence of foodborne illness risk factors. ANC is about having a plan for checking the safe food handling practices are in place and being allowed. So si active managerial control, ito yung tool na ginagamit ng manager to serve food and lead the food workers to handle properly the food to prevent the possibility of having a foodborne illness. FDA's public health interventions provide specific recommendations for controlling the common risk factors for foodborne illness. These are known as public health intervention. They are designed to protect public health. So, si PDA's public health intervention, ginawa siya para maprotektahan tayo sa anumang uri ng sakit na dala ng pagkain. Next, demonstrations of knowledge. As a manager, you must be able to show that you know what to do to keep the food safe. Becoming certified in food safety is one way to show this. So, demonstration of knowledge example is yung manager. So, halimbawa na nasa isang workplace sa fast food chain, hindi ka i-promote for being a manager if your knowledge is not enough or yung knowledge mo is hindi pa matured enough na para mag-handle ng mga workers mo, especially sa food industry. Kailangan na yung manager na naka-assign sa isang food industry is may enough knowledge para hindi para sa sarili niya, kundi para ma-guide niya yung ibang mga food workers to prevent foodborne illnesses and also to secure the safetyness of the others. Staff health controls. Procedures must be put in place to make sure staff are practicing personal hygiene. For example, staff must know that they must report illness and illness symptoms to management. So, staff health controls, pwede dito yung, dito naman yung papasok na halimbawa, mayroong staff na hindi maganda yung pakiramdam niya. So, she or he needs to inform her or his manager para hindi na siya makahawa pa. Kasi kung halimbawa si staff is hindi siya nag-inform to his or her manager, then pumasok siya, may possibility na magkaroon ng foodborne illnesses, lalo na nasa food industry siya. Controlling hands as a vehicle of contamination. Controls must be put in place to prevent bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods. This might include requiring the use of tongs to handle ready-to-eat food. So especially sa mga eatery, even though small businesses need nila magkaroon ng safetyness practices, lalo na doon sa mga ready-to-eat food. Instead of na kakamayan nila yung mga ready-to-eat food, gagamit sila ng mga tools na sak dun sa food na yun, gaya na lang ng tong. Next, time and temperature parameters for controlling pathogens. Procedures must be put in place to limit food spent in the temperature danger zone, requiring food handlers to check temperature of food being handheld every 2 hours is an example. Next, consumer advisories. Notices must be provided to consumers if you service. Consumer advisories. Notice must be provided to customers if you serve raw or undercooked menu items. These notices must include a statement about the risk of eating this food. So, pwede dito papasok yung label para ma-prevent natin magkaroon ng foodborne illnesses. Halimbawa na lang, if mahilig tayo sa mga canned goods, syempre meron dong label sa likod or dun sa ilalim ng can na nagsasabi if it is available to eat or safe to eat, and then if it's not, then we need to know. HACCP or Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point is a management system in which food safety is addressed through the analysis and control of biological, chemical, and physical hazard from raw material productions, procurement and handling to manufacturing, distributions, and consumptions of the finished product. So, si Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point or HACCP is a management system na nagsasaad or nagbibigay ng guide para makontrol ang pagkakaroon ng biological, chemical, and physical hazard from raw material sa mga productions. The HACCP approach. The HACCP plan is based on 7 basic principles. They were created by the National Advisory Committee on Microbiological Criteria for Foods. These principles are the 7 steps that outline how to create a HACCP plan. The 7 HACCP principles. Each HACCP principle builds on the information gained from the previous principle. You must consider all 7 principles in order when developing your plan.
Principle number 1 is conduct a hazard analysis. First, identify and assess potential hazard in the food you serve, and start by looking at how food is processed in your operation. Many types of foods are processed in similar ways, and look at your menu and identify items that are processed like this. And next, identify the TCS food. Determine where food safety hazards are likely to occur for each TCS food. There are many types of hazards to look for. These can come from biological, chemical, or physical contaminants. It is very important to identify the food you serve because it can protect the consumers from health risks. Related to common allergens and foodborne illness, pwede nating simulan sa kung paano natin pinoproseso ang pagkain ng ang pagkain na ating isi-serve. Example, preparing and serving without cooking like salads and cold sandwiches. Principle number 2 is determine critical control points or CCPS. Find the points in the process where the identified hazards can be prevented, eliminated, or reduced to safe levels. And these are the critical control points. Depending on the process, there may be more than one CCP. Principle number 2 is critical control point is a point step or procedure at which control can be applied and food safety hazard can be prevented, eliminated, or reduced to acceptable levels. Ito ay hakbang o proseso na kung saan ang control ay maaaring i-apply at ang panganib ay maaaring maiwasan, maalis o mapigilan. Example na lang is yung these food items must be handled correctly throughout the flow of food. However, correct cooking is the only step that will eliminate or reduce bacteria to safe level. Ang tamang pagluluto ng pagkain ay isang paraan upang makabawas or makaalis ng bacteria sa ating pagkain. Principle number 3 is establish critical limits. For each CCP, establish minimum or maximum limits. These limits must be to prevent or eliminate the hazard or reduce it to a safe level. Principle number 3 is a critical limit is a maximum and minimum value to which a biological, chemical, or physical parameter must be controlled at a CCP to prevent, eliminate, or reduce to an acceptable level the occurrence of a food safety hazard. This principle number 3 is used to distinguish between safe and unsafe operating conditions at a CCP. Critical limits should not be confused with operational limits which are established for reasons other than food safety. For example, they decided that the critical limit could be met by cooking chicken breast in the broiler for 16 minutes. Sabi dito, napagpasyahan nila na ang critical na limitasyon ay maaaring matugunan sa pamamagitan sa pagluluto sa chicken breast sa broiler sa loob ng 16 minutes. Principle number 4 is establish monitoring procedures. Once critical limits have been created, determine the best way for your operations to check them. Make sure the limits are consistently met. Identify who will monitor them and how often. Monitoring is a plan which includes observations or measurements to assess whether the CCP is being met. It provides a record of the flow of food through establishment. Example, the grill cook must check the temperature of each chicken breast after cooking. Each chicken breast must reach the minimum internal temperature of 165 degree Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. Dapat daw po na ang bawat chicken breast ay chine-check ang temperature pagkatapos lutuin. Dapat daw po ang bawat chicken breast ay merong minimum temperature na 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. Principle number 5, identify corrective actions. Identify steps that must be taken when a critical limit is not met. Principle number 5, aspects of quality management that aims to rectify a task, process, product, or person's behavior. When they produce errors or deviate from an intended plan. There's a 7-step in corrective actions. First is define the problem, and second is establish the scope of the problem, and the third one is take containment actions, and the number 4 is find the root cause of the problem. Number 5 is plan corrective actions to fix the root cause. And the number 6 is implement the corrective action plan. And the last one is follow up to ensure that your plan works. Corrective action plans is important because plan is more than a way to remain in compliance. It demonstrates your commitment to finding the root cause of safety concerns and protecting your employees and business from unpredictable circumstances. For example, if the chicken breast has not reached its critical limits within the 16 minutes cook time, the grill cook at Enrico's must keep cooking the chicken breast until has reached it. Sabi po dito na kapag daw po yung chicken breast is hindi pa siya naluluto sa cooking time niya na which is 16 minutes, dapat daw po lutuin ulit ito hanggang sa maluto yung chicken breast. Principle number 6 is verify the system works. Determine if the plan is working as intended. Evaluate it on a regular basis. Use your monitoring charts, records, hazards analysis, and determine if your plan prevents, reduce, or eliminates identify hazards. In principle number 6, find if the plan is working, and you can use the monitoring charts or records if the plan reduce the identified hazards. For example, Enrico management team performs HACCP checks once per shift. They make sure that the critical limits were met and appropriate corrective actions were taken when needed. Principle number 6 of HACCP is verification. Verification is a check in the system to assure that the controls are using the best scientific approach, and that the procedures defined by the HACCP plan are being followed. Principle number 7, establish procedures for record, keeping and documentation. Maintain your HACCP plan and keep all documentation created when developing it. Keep records for the following actions: monitoring activities, taking corrective actions, validating equipment, working with suppliers. For example, Enrico management team determined that the temperature log should be kept for 3 months. Receiving invoice would be kept for 60 days. The team used for this documentation to support and revise their HACCP plan. HACCP plan. Food temperature logs are tools that allow you to monitor food temperature and help ensure that food is safe when stored, prepared, and served. Maintaining food at proper temperatures is essential in preventing harmful bacteria from compromising the safety of food items. As a result, proper temperature control helps reduce the risk of people getting sick.
First, analyzing hazard. Second, determining CCPS. Third, establishing critical limits. Fourth, establishing monitoring procedures. Then fifth, identifying corrective actions.
Number 6, verifying that the system works. To make sure the system is working correctly, the team decided that the operation team leader must review the manager daily HACCP checks sheet at the end of each shift. The team leader also confirms that all corrective actions have been taken and recorded. The fruit basket also evaluate the HACCP system quarterly to see if it's working. Para daw masigurado na gumagana ng tama ang system, napagdesisyonan nila na yung operation team leader daw po nila ay dapat na i-review yung manager daily HACCP. Dapat din daw na ma-check ang shift pagkatapos ng bawat shift. Nag-confirm daw po yung team leader na ang lahat ng corrective actions ay nare-record. Ang fruit basket din daw ay ini-evaluate yung HACCP system para makita kung gumagana ba ito. Number 7, establishing procedures for record keeping. Since foodborne illness associated with fresh produce can take as long as 16 weeks to emerge, the team determined that all HACCP records must be maintained for 16 weeks and kept on file. Dahil daw ang foodborne illness is napoproduce hanggang 16 weeks, napagdesisyonan nila ng team na ang lahat ng HACCP records ay dapat na ma-maintain hanggang 16 weeks at mananatili lamang ito sa file.